And in a piece of related news, the White House would not confirm or deny that President Trump will decertify the Iran nuclear deal before the October 15th deadline. It is being widely reported that he will take that step and leave it to Congress to consider whether to reimpose sanctions. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said Mr. Trump is evaluating what she calls all the bad behavior of Iran.
Not just the nuclear deal as bad behavior, but the ballistic missile testing, destabilizing of the region, #1 state sponsor of terrorism, cyber attacks, illicit nuclear program. He wants to look for a broad strategy that addresses all of those problems, not just one-offing those.
The president says that Tehran has violated the spirit of the agreement, if not the actual provisions. Hurricanes Harvey and Irma have dealt a temporary blow to the U.S. job market. The storm shuttered thousands of businesses and forced evacuations in Texas and Florida last month. As a result, the Labor Department reports that the economy shed 33,000 jobs in September. Even so, the unemployment rate improved. It fell to 4.2%, its lowest level since 2001. A new storm warning is up for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama ahead of Tropical Storm Nate. It's on track to brush past Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula tonight and then strike the U.S. late Saturday as a hurricane. People along Louisiana's shoreline are already stockpiling supplies and trying to protect power lines. Officials are hoping that the storm will pass quickly, limiting its total rainfall. Vice President Mike Pence got his first up-close look at the hurricane damage in Puerto Rico today and vowed that more help is on the way. He first toured the destruction in the U.S. Virgin Islands and then went on to San Juan. He told a church congregation that the federal government is in it for the long haul.
When one part of America cries out for help, we come together. And I believe in my heart that when the history of this time and this crisis is recorded in Puerto Rico, this will be a chapter when Americans stood by Americans and delivered on that promise.
President Trump visited Puerto Rico earlier in the week amid criticism that the federal response had been too slow. Another U.S. commando has been found dead in the African nation of Niger. The Pentagon says he was killed Wednesday, along with 3 other special operations troops in an ambush by Islamist extremists. The Americans were patrolling with soldiers from Niger. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is expected to plead guilty to desertion for leaving his post in Afghanistan in 2009. The Associated Press reports that he will also admit to a charge of misbehavior before the enemy. Taliban militants held Bergdahl hostage for 5 years before he was freed in a prisoner swap. He is 31 years old now. He could face life in a military prison. Las Vegas police say they still don't know the motive behind Sunday night's mass shooting that left 58 dead. Today, the county undersheriff, Kevin McMahill, said investigators are having trouble getting a fix on Stephen Paddock.
In the past, terror attacks or mass murder incidents, motive was made very clear in most of those cases by a note that was left, by a social media post, by a telephone call that was made, by investigators mining computer data. Today, in our investigation, we don't have any of that uncovered. I wish we did.
Paddock killed himself as police closed in on his position. Australia today ended a 3-month amnesty for turning in illegal firearms. The government said the public turned in 51,000 weapons to be destroyed. And Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says that the country's gun laws have prevented mass killings. Australia enacted strict curbs after a gunman killed 35 people in Tasmania back in 1996. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions today ordered federal government agencies to put new emphasis on religious freedom, even if it means overriding civil rights protections. Those could include same-sex marriage, transsexual rights, and equal opportunity provisions for women and others. Civil liberties groups responded right away, charging that the new rule could lead to discrimination. Wall Street was little changed today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 1 point to close at 22,773. The Nasdaq rose 4 points, and the S&P 500 slipped 2.